Welcome back everyone to the next video in my Detective Grimoire gameplay. It's the fourth episode. We learned a lot from this last episode, so let's see if we find out more. And whether this will be the last episode or not, we'll see. I don't know, but we're at 78%.
You said you knew Remington?
He and I knew each other for a long time. I came to work at his tourist attraction in the early days, when he needed help.
Well, what kept you here?
I know most people wouldn't want to work in a place like this. I actually like it here, so I was happy to oblige.
You might like it, but I still don't see why anyone would build a tourist attraction here.
Mr. Remington has his reasons. He probably had several. I don't presume to know what they all were, even though we were friends.
No.
He had some secrets, some hobbies, that I was happy to let him keep secret.
Secrets? Hobbies? A secret hobby?
He was a man with a dream, I can tell you that much.
So what can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
I didn't have one. I think I spoke to him twice, ever. He usually seemed really busy, but more like preoccupied.
Preoccupied? Like he was thinking about something else? Something that wasn't this tourist attraction?
Who can say? What do old men think about?
What? What? Are you implying that I know the answer to that?
Let's see the challenge. So the only one I don't have a challenge yet is with Echo.
The black leggings you found in your bag this morning, they're covered in the same slime that was on the murder weapon.
Everything in this swamp is covered in slime. What's your angle, Grimoire?
Your black leggings were part of the murderer's costume.
Costume? Is that why someone took them out of my bag last night?
Well, I don't have proof someone else took them.
If I had been wearing them when I committed a crime, do you think I would hand them over to a detective the second he shows up?
You're
Besides,
making sense.
Look at them. What do you notice?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're loose and stretched.
They're loose and stretched.
That's right, someone else. Someone larger than me has worn these. They're stretched
It's a
out,
clue.
especially at the waist. It's pretty obvious.
So, let's see. Somebody stole them to use in their boggy costume, and then put them back in your bag when they were done?
If you say so. It's not my job to know all the details.
Uh.
It's my job to sell souvenirs. Do you want a souvenir?
Oh, yes, but only if you choose one for me.
You look like you could use something to wind up. You can take this one.
That was sad. Hello.
You again. Ready with some cryptic advice, no doubt?
Don't let them take him.
Who? The murderer? That's my job. I gotta make sure that they...
No, the creature. Don't take him away. This place is his home.
Oh, Boggy. Hey, don't worry. I didn't really believe he could be,
Real?
responsible for this mess.
Oh.
You didn't?
Well, no. Mainly because I didn't believe he existed at all.
So, he won't get in trouble? You won't have to leave?
Well, he's been out here
Leave?
for what, 60 years, hasn't he? And stayed out of trouble for that long. I have a feeling some detective isn't going to change all that in one day.
Well, in that case, he says... Thank you.
Interesting.
Oh? So what did Mr. Remington think of you? I mean, protesting in the middle of a swamp every day.
It wasn't his swamp. If he ever truly thought it was, then he was even more of a fool than he seemed.
But he didn't like you hanging around, right?
That man was exceptionally skilled at ignoring me. Ignoring anything he didn't like.
So, what, he just left you alone?
He expected me to get bored and go home. He figured I'd get sick of this place and he'd have it back to himself.
But he didn't want it to himself, did he? He wanted lots of people to come visit all the time, surely.
I'm sure it says that in the brochure. Yes.
So I need to ask someone about him. Probably.
Yeah, I have a pretty good view of him from here. Anyone supporting animal rights is okay in my book. His protests used to have a bit more energy, though.
Oh.
He spends more time inside his tent these days.
What's he doing in there?
I'm happy to say, I don't know.
There might be something I can ask Echo about. Echo spends less time holding
My
the
lapels.
protest sign and more time in his tent. I wonder if Echo can tell me what he's been doing that's more important than his protest.
It's convenient that Sally's just the one that gives the challenge.
Oh?
I heard you've been spending less time protesting recently and more time, in your tent. Normally I wouldn't try, but it's my job to
I'm
ask.
touched people have even noticed something like that. I usually get the impression everyone else is doing their best to ignore me.
So, you admit it's true?
You can put your notebook away.
Oh.
There isn't really any reason for it. Nothing worth writing down, at least.
Well, if it's not worth writing down, maybe it's worth hearing.
In that case, you'd forget it.
How do you know? Maybe it would echo in my mind.
Look, if you take a guess and get it right, I promise not to deny it.
Let's work out why Echo was hidden away in his tent. Notebook time.
Texas. I have a silly nickname. Boggy.
You've been in your tent, hiding from Boggy.
Why not?
Oh, so it's not it.
I heard you've been spending less and more. Well,
In that...
howdy.
Look.
Let's notebook time.
Ghosts.
You've been hiding in your tent because the swamp is haunted.
Why not?
And no. What? You've been in your tent because it's been raining.
Huh.
And
Am I missing something?
notebook.
Is it really taxes?
You've been hiding in your tent from the tax man.
Why not?
I think it's time I went to talk to Officer James.
That's weird. So, did it really give an answer on why he was hiding in his tent or not? It's solved because... Oh, because he's the one who probably did it?
So,
I don't know. But kind of feels like it was Echo.
You finally returned. Well,
You still haven't
fine
finished your
creature.
coffee?
Where is he?
I I didn't find him.
What? You're not getting paid to wander about aimlessly, Grimoire. Get back out there.
I don't need to.
Why not? I thought he was our prime suspect.
Not anymore.
Didn't you find photographic evidence of Buggy from last night? Let me see that photo. If that's not Buggy, what is it?
It's a costume.
I found designs for the costume in a trash can. Not only that, I collected all the pieces of the costume myself. Well, nearly all of them. There's still the one
But
that...
the footprints at the scene of the crime! How can you prove these don't belong to a real creature? What's this? I thought there were no records of a footprint anywhere.
No public records. The footprints at the crime scene don't match the ones on this page. They were just a product of these slippers. A part of the costume.
But Grimoire, this costume, it doesn't have claws of any kind. How do you explain the 3 wounds on the victim's chest?
The prongs match up with the wounds perfectly. The handle's even covered in slime, see?
Ah, but this swamp slime was one of the reasons Buggy became a suspect in the first place. Surely this only incriminates the creature further.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that slime, it's not exactly what you think. This stuff has an uncanny resemblance to the so-called swamp slime. A bunch of it was stolen from the storeroom of the cafe, which reminds me.
What is that exactly?
A poisoned hot dog. It's the second reason that the murderer broke into the storeroom. He put this green powder on the entire supply, just to make sure.
To make sure of what?
To make sure Remington got ill and had to return to his office.
Remington went back to his office? Alone? I've been looking through your evidence, Grimoire. One piece in particular seems critical to me. I think we need to work
The
out.
video footage? Vincent Vanderpeer filmed it last night, at the exact moment of the murder, I believe.
Well, exactly. I think we can both agree these sounds in the background. They're essential in our mystery. Could you talk me through them? Just rearrange the descriptions on the left to match the sounds on the right. Drag them around and keep... And if you want...
No problem. I can always check my case file.
This one?
I think that's it.
Ah, excellent. There's just 2 small details bothering me. First of all, if Remington ripped off a piece of his curtains, why wasn't it found at the crime scene? What happened to it?
It's in the head.
Turns out the murderer took that piece of fabric and concealed it inside the head of the costume. Then he fled the crime scene to hide all the parts in different areas of the swamp.
Ah, well, that's my problem. If Remington fired his rifle, how did the assailant survive and manage to escape? Did Remington miss his target?
At point blank? A man of his experience? I don't think so. In fact, the answer to that question is the very last link in our chain. The one thing that has eluded me so far. I'll drag the clue items from the left onto my drawing here, and we'll see what happens when we compare the pieces I collected with the original design I...
Hello, I am the murderer. So the body's missing because it was shot.
Wait, you never found the body piece, the torso.
You're right, and I never would have found it, not lying around.
But what does this have to do with the murderer surviving the rifle shot?
This torso is probably made up of some thick material, something covering the culprit's entire upper body. I believe it may have even been enough to
To
soften...
soften the impact from a bullet. Aha!
Exactly.
Well, let's put your theory to the test. Where is that last piece of the costume?
What? Here?
How? We looked everywhere. Not a single clue.
Simple. He's still wearing
I was
it.
gonna say, is it because he's just fat? Echo's fat.
I don't know what you want with me. Sounds like you two were smart enough to uncover the real criminal in this swamp, and lucky enough to have somebody else deal with him for you. You worked it out. He had his rifle on him. He got half a glance at me and pulled the trigger without hesitation.
But why would he do that? You were dressed as Buggy. He shouldn't be pointing his gun at a unique scientific specimen.
He's a
Not to
hunter.
mention his main attraction.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Not unless you're in on the secret. The hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy. A secret society, an order of hunters, seeking out mysterious and elusive creatures.
The order goes further than this one man, and much further than this one swamp.
The whole thing is kind of distressing. I knew something was wrong as soon as I stepped into that office.
I'm glad you've finally come around. It's not just
But what about Remington? He was a member of this order?
He made Boggy his own personal project, his own obsession. For years he hunted the creature, the potential perfect addition to his collection.
But he owned the tourist attraction. He set it up himself, didn't he?
He did. It was just his way of forming a legal loophole. Since the area became protected, he and his friends were unable to come here for hunting anymore. Boggy's Bog was just a front for his own little game. A man pursuing a creature.
A creature that might not even exist.
And that's why Remington kept a rifle nearby at all times?
Well, exactly. He didn't want to take any chances.
In case
Don't you see?
the real Buggy
I did
appears.
this place a service. Did
Oh.
Boggy a service. That creature, he can live in peace again.
Can he? You tried to frame him for murder. You wanted everyone to think he was some kind of ruthless predator?
Well, think about it. Once he became suspected of murder, they'd have no choice but to shut this whole place down. Everyone would finally realize they had no business here.
Oh.
How can you know what Boggy wanted? He might not be what you're...
Detective,
You. It's...
it's finished. Oh, don't be angry. You should be glad. It's finally time to leave the swamp. You have another job to do.
I don't know.
Not that it makes any difference to somebody like you, but I never intended to kill him. Just to scare him. Convince him Boggy wasn't going to let him live here in peace any longer. But, true to form, he had his rifle on him. You worked out the rest yourself.
It makes a difference.
Well, Mr. Everstone, I'm afraid you'll still have to come with us. Fortunately, there's a police station just a few miles down.
Hey, wait!
Buggy's real. Hello. Hello there. Oh, the animation's real nice. Bye, Buggy.
Looks like you solved more than one mystery tonight.
Who is that little girl? Well,
Grimoire,
oh,
Well, what did they decide to do?
we had Mr. Everstone questioned. He was happy to tell us everything he knew. A number of rumors going around the department have been confirmed.
And Remington's office?
Searched down to the last detail. And well, we agree with you, but I know what you're thinking. I'd love to put an end to it, just the same as you. But there's always...
Are we going after them?
We'd better be.
interesting. Oh, did I not? Oh, I was thinking about how I'm only at 85%, so probably I didn't find all of the like um things that you can find. Oh, mystery for tomorrow. Interesting. Well, this game was cool. Um, the mystery is really nice, actually. The idea, but I do agree that it's kind of short. Like it could have gotten longer, and could have made the red herrings more red herringy. Because at one point I was just not sold on the fact that the others did it, and then eventually it was really obvious that Echo did it. Um, even though I didn't say it, but yeah, I guess that's it for this game. Um, it's a really interesting game. I was gonna say try to play it, but then you just if you've reached this far, you probably just watch me play all of it. And I actually want to try and buy the sequel, Tangled Towers, because I heard that that game is amazing and that it just takes this idea from this small game to like a bigger game. That's what I heard. I don't know. That's just what I heard. So, in the future, maybe I could play it. But I hope you like this one. I hope you enjoyed watching me play Detective Grimoire. Again, everyone, if you like this, you can like and subscribe and enjoy watching more videos from me. Uh, Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.